Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 22. Today we're going to go over the incorrect use of era, of ever, and some common uses of ever. Alright, so many times in class I'll ask a student, have you ever? Remember, of course, it's good to note that ever really means at any time. So, at any time in your life, have you done this? So, I'll ask a student, have you ever done something? And students usually answer, I ever, or often some students may answer I ever, and that's wrong. So let's take a look. The majority of time someone asks you a question, have you ever done something? Don't respond with I ever. The correct response would be I have or I have not. Again, this is the far majority of the time. Alright, so let's look at some common uses. Here are some common uses of ever. Use ever in questions to express at any time in one's life. Have you ever eaten snake? Okay, so you probably should say, I have eaten snake, or I have not eaten snake. These are the common ones. This is the most common type that we come across. Have you ever gone mountain climbing? You should say no. I never went mountain climbing, or I have not gone mountain climbing, or I have gone mountain climbing. Okay. Now, some of the reasons I'm giving you some of these other uses of ever is because there might be a few exceptions where you might be able to respond with ever to a question, have you ever? If the question is stated the right way, depending upon if it's negative or positive. So let's take a look. Use ever in strong negative statements to stress the idea of never, no one, nobody, etc. Okay, so I gave you some examples here. He never ever does that. Okay, so this is one where if you ask the question the right way, did he ever do that? And then if you wanted to really stress in your answer, you could say he never does that. So that's an exception where you're asking, does somebody ever do something? And you could answer with an ever for stress, with a very strong negative. So this is one of the examples where you could possibly use ever in the answer to have you ever, or has somebody ever? Yeah. So I could even ask, have you ever done that? And you say, I never ever did that. Or you could, again, we could say, no one ever tried to do that. It's another use of ever with the strong statement. Nobody will ever break his record. So again, that could be an example. You could say, do you think anyone will ever break his record? No, I don't think nobody will ever break his record. So again, you could use ever in some answers. That's why I'm giving you some of these other examples of uses of ever. But again, the far majority of the time when I say have you ever, you probably should be answering I have or I have not. Let's look at the next one. Number 3, use ever in strong negative commands. Yeah, usually when you're kind of angry at someone, don't you ever say that dirty word again. Maybe a parent might say that to a small child. Your curfew is 11 p.m. Don't you ever come home late again. So very strong negative statements. We use ever in those too. Alright, we also use it in some if sentences. So use ever in some if sentences. So if I ever win the lottery, I will buy you a house. This is one where if you phrase the question the right way, if you ever win the lottery, would you buy me a house? And then you could answer, if I ever win the lottery, I will buy you a house. Then you could have answered ever in that sort of a question. If I ever visit Paris, I will go visit the Eiffel Tower. So again, remember, ever means at any time in your life. Use ever in some comparisons. Alright, you could say, this is the best ice cream that I ever tasted. So here you are making a comparison. You're comparing this ice cream or this ice cream cone to all the ones you've had before in your life. So you're making a comparison. But this is another example where you could have possibly, if somebody stated the question the right way, they might say, is this ice cream or is this gelato ice cream, maybe like from Italy, is this gelato ice cream the best that you ever tasted? And then you might be able to respond, yes, this is the best ice cream I ever tasted, in my life, or something like that. Barry Bonds is the greatest home run hitter that ever lived. Yeah, so again, if you stated the question the right way, you could respond also that way. Even though maybe some people might question Bobby Bonds now. He had a scandal for taking the enhancing drugs. But that's another story. Let's go on. So, what else? Alright, so again, let's review. The majority of time someone asks you a question, have you ever? Again, you should, the far majority of the time you should be responding, I have, or I have not. And these are the common uses. Use ever in questions to express at any time in one's life. So this you don't have to worry about because this is just in the question. Use ever in strong negative statements. Use ever in strong negative commands. Use ever in some if sentences. And use ever in some comparisons. Okay, well, I hope that clarifies it for you. Thank you.